Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in. We have a very, very, very special guest today. Peter Heubeck, right-handed pitcher in the Dodgers organization, joins Dodgers Daily. So, Peter, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, so got to ask you, did you get a chance in the offseason to go back to Baltimore, see the family, see the friends, go back to Gilman, see all the boys? Did you get a chance to do all that?
I did. Yeah, I was in Baltimore for a while this offseason. My dad's still working at Gilman. I got to go back there a decent amount of times, use their workout facilities, and it was a good time.
Yeah, so you probably had access to all their baseball facilities there and probably got to work out quite a bit there?
I did. They just made a brand new facility, like a workout room, and it's real nice right now.
Yeah, does Gavin Sheets ever come back and work out there too with you, or have you got a chance to see him?
Yeah, I do. So I work out at Gilman. I also work out at a separate gym with Gavin on the side. So I've been working out with him this offseason, so that's been fun. All
right. Last time we talked, you were trying to work your way up to 190, if not above that, and stick there. So where are we at as far as that goal goes?
I'm almost there. I'm about 185 right now, waiting this morning at 185. So I'm out in Arizona now, so hopefully by the time spring training ends, I'll be right around there.
All right, very good. Okay, so last year was exciting for you because you finally got to make it out to Rancho. I know the Complex League is fun, and it's fun just being a professional baseball player, but that had to be cool when you got the call to Rancho and first got to play with them, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That was a blast. I stayed a little bit and extended, but when I got to Rancho and I got that call, I was super excited, and it was a great time for sure.
You got assigned to Rancho in June, and I know being a professional baseball player in any setting is awesome. The complex is really cool. You went to extended spring training, but that had to be really neat when you finally got that call up to go to A-ball in Rancho. Mm-hmm. So take us through that experience.
Yeah, so I was in extended for a little bit, working on my arm and stuff. But once I got that call, it's super exciting. Get to go to affiliate for the first time, and I haven't spent more than a couple of days in California ever. So just driving up to Rancho from Arizona, I was so excited, and it exceeded my expectations. It was a really good time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Of course, you're an East Coast guy. You're from Baltimore. So when you got drafted by the Dodgers, had you ever been to California or Arizona, either one of them?
No, I haven't. When I first signed with the Dodgers, that was when I first went to California, did all my physicals in LA. They took us out to a game, me and Maddox out to a Dodger game, which was my first time at Dodger Stadium, which was great. And never seen a cactus before going out to Arizona, and it was a whole different world that I've never seen before, but it's pretty cool.
A lot warmer too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, not too bad.
Baseball's a much better sport, I must say, when it's warm than when it's cold.
I agree. I've played my fair share in the cold up in Baltimore, so definitely.
All right. No doubt about it. Okay, let's talk about your stuff last year. When you got to Rancho, you averaged 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. Your average against was just 196. So, boy, when your stuff was in the strike zone, it was very explosive, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a learning curve going to affiliate ball. Just making sure you trust yourself, because like you said, when I was in the zone, it was working. My stuff played, but just really trusting yourself to attack those hitters and just believing in yourself that you're better than who you're facing, really.
You ever have that moment, of course, when you got to Rancho, you probably had some nerves, and it's like, wow, you always go through that period where, like, do I belong here? These are the greatest players in the world. Did you ever have that moment where you stood there and looked at the mountains and you're in the middle of Rancho and you went, you know what? I'm good enough to be here. That eureka moment, did you ever have that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think especially the first week getting out there, we had a home series, and it was good. There's definitely some nerves, but once you get on the mound, once you face that first batter, you realize you belong there, and it all evens out from there. You
mentioned Maddox. That's Maddox Bruns, the left-hander, one of the big prospects pitching wise in the Dodgers organization. You got to pitch with guys like him and Ronan Cobb. There was about 40 different really talented pitchers. Ben Kasparius, I know, was there for a while. So, boy, how fun was that getting to work with some of the most elite arms in baseball?
Man, it was great. I mean, Maddox, Ronan, like you could go down the list. I think we had like 4 guys out the pen throwing 100, which is just crazy for A ball. And just learning from everybody. We had such a good environment in the clubhouse. Everyone was super close, and we all rooted for each other. It was really good, really great experience.
You mentioned the environment. That takes me to your manager, John Shoemaker. First of all, I got to ask everybody who's either coached for or played for John Shoemaker, have you ever with your own eyes seen him out of uniform?
Honestly, I think right now I saw him like 5 minutes ago in the hotel lobby. That was probably the first time I've ever seen him out of uniform, honestly. We were in San Jose, and I was a little bit sick, so I woke up at couldn't sleep. I woke up at 7 a.m, went down to the lobby, and I'm just drinking coffee, and he's out there. He's down in the lobby at 7 a.m. with his pants on, and with his pants on in a jersey. And I think he was wearing white pants, so not even the pants we're wearing for the game. So that guy's the best. He's awesome.
Most professional manager you'll ever play for, isn't he? Talk about playing for him.
Oh man. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better first-year manager in an affiliate. He held us to such a high standard, but this first year showing people the Dodger way. I mean, he's all over the place. His energy is unbelievable. I mean, he does everything in the field. He cleans up, he picks up, he does BP. Man, he's all over the place. So he's great.
Yep, he's definitely a leader by example. Your leaders on the pitching staff were Duran Olinger, Ramon Troncoso. Wow, I mean, I got to see Ramon pitch quite a bit at Oklahoma City. Yeah. He actually was part of a 15-inning game that Corey Seager played in that night. Austin Chubb also played in that 15-inning game too. But you're in good hands with those two, aren't you? Talk about those two.
Oh man, I mean, those two, they were such a good balance off of each other. I mean, Troncoso, he's the best. I mean, anyone who's ever met him, I can't imagine a bad word like anyone has ever said anything bad about him. I mean, he obviously very talented pitcher himself. He knows his stuff. And Duran it was my first year working with him, and he worked with me a lot about just different stuff, and he helped us all so much throughout the season. I mean, he really understands coming from a pitcher. He's shortly out of pro ball, so he gets it. He gets the grind. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, and very, very, very creative, and the communication is just so wonderful in that organization. One of the great things about the minor leagues, especially in the Dodgers organization, is that you're always working towards something. You're always trying to add something, and it's not always about the results. It's about, hey, let's see, we already know that you have the big fastball. You already know you have the big Clayton Kershaw type right-handed curveball, which you came to the Dodgers with. Let's see if we can add to it, right? So is there anything that you tried to add last year or try to branch out to? Any kind of emphasis like that?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So last year we were working on a whole bunch of different stuff, but the changeup's coming along right now. Right after the season, we went to Arizona, had a little league, threw the changeup a lot there, worked on that a lot. So I feel a lot more comfortable with that coming to this year. And currently working on a little cutter slider. So and trying to add a fourth. I'm trying to add a smaller breaking ball to the repertoire. So super excited about that as well.
The smaller breaking ball paired with your four seam and slider. I'm assuming you're wanting to add that, kind of like Michael Grove. He has that big curveball, but he's added that slider so it'll tunnel better off the fastball. Would that be correct?
Yes, it'll tunnel off the fastball a little bit better. And I originally wanted a smaller breaking ball just to just control the zone a little bit more, because fastball vert is pretty high and the curveball drops a lot. So just it's tough to control the zone with two bigger pitches. So just to have something a little bit tighter and maybe faster, I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Okay, moving into the offseason, I'm sure you had a whole lot of goals. You talked about adding the changeup, and maybe a a smaller breaking pitch. So goals going into the offseason, I'm sure a lot of that was getting command with all those pitches.
Yes, no, for sure. I mean, I think my number one goal, just work on my body and make sure I come into spring training healthy and just ready to go, which I feel like I did a good job of. And the command also, I mean, I'm working out here. I've been out in Arizona for a little bit now, and just to get everybody I can watching my bullpens and helping me out. So that's been huge, staying out here a little bit and working with the coaches.
We talked about all the arm talent that you got to work next to, and anytime you're around the greatest, you know, you grew up with the greatest. Cal Ripken Jr. was one of the coaches when you grew up. You got to play for Larry Sheets, who played in the major leagues. You're very good friends with Gavin Sheets, who's with the White Sox right now. So you grew up around greatness. You got to play around greatness last year, which was fantastic. Okay, so not only on the pitching element of it, but you also got to play with some of the best young catchers in the game. I know you missed getting to throw to Diego Cartaya by about a week, which is probably kind of disappointing, but you did get to throw to both Yainer Fernandez and Dalton Rushing. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I missed Diego by I came to Rancho, then he got sent out that day actually. So but that was cool to see him go. I mean, obviously deserves everything. And so I was starting to Yainer a lot, and I love Yainer. He is tough behind the plate. Obviously very talented, but I mean, you won't find a tougher player than Yainer for sure. But then Rush came in once the new draft guys got there, and I mean, he's obviously tore it up offensively, and he's really good behind the plate. They both, I mean, him and Yainer both have a really good plan. They know what they're doing. They sit in with us during the pitching meetings before, so I mean, they know everything. They're really sharp guys, and they're grinders back there.
Yainer's very underrated, isn't he? He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Oh man, absolutely. I've been saying that for a while now. I mean, he's defensively and offensively, he's just someone you want on your team for sure.
He's not going to come out of the game unless you're going to have to pull him off in a stretcher. He's pretty tough.
If he comes out of the game, something seriously up. So he's a tough one.
Okay, I was talking to one of your pitching coaches, Darren Olinger, a couple of weeks ago, and we were just kind of talking about, you know, the excitement that the 2022 draft picks brought, you know, during the part of the season. You're in the dog days of the summer, you know, it's been 1,000,000 degrees for 100 days in a row, and you're like around game 100, so you're starting to wear down. Then all of a sudden you get this influx of these college guys that are just super excited to be playing professional baseball. That had to be a really cool dynamic, didn't it?
Man, that week where they all came they just like rejuvenated the locker room, the field. I mean, it was great. Rushing and Nick Biddison actually moved into my apartment with me and Brun, so that was really cool to have them around. And I mean, those guys just play game with like a lot of intensity, and they love being at the field, so it was just infectious. It was great.
No doubt about it. Okay, let's circle back around to Gavin Sheets. Mentioned him. His dad is the coach there at Gilman, and you know you're just very good friends. He's a mentor. Matter of fact, he went to Wake Forest. He was a big reason why you were committed to go to Wake Forest before you signed with the Dodgers. Yep. Very cool situation there. He's with the White Sox, and the White Sox facility is right next to the Dodgers. So here in a couple of weeks, you're going to get a chance to hang out with your good buddy and mentor, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm super excited for that. Maybe I knew he came out. He flew out here recently, so I don't know. Maybe I'll see him at the golf event this weekend. But it's great having him right across the complex. I mean, just as a mentor, as a friend, he's great. Looks out for me. He's a great guy.
Okay, you mentioned golf, and it jogged me to you're a right-handed pitcher in the Dodgers organization. Did you see Pepio's hole-in-one?
I did. I did see that. I got the chance to talk to him about it the day after. He was pretty pumped about it.
Goals for 2023. I know we talked about incorporating the changeup and you know, grips and trying to get command of all four of your pitches as you develop through the system. So goals for 2023 as we move into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think first things first, get through the season healthy. Play a whole 140 games. I think that's 142. That's the most important thing. And once that happens, I mean, I feel like if I can control the strike zone a little bit better, I mean, I want to have a shoot. I mean, it's easy to say. I mean, I want to just be able to go further in games for sure, which I think is something this next year they're going to let me do a little bit more, which is super exciting. Go deeper in games, get the pitch count up, and really just compete every game. I mean, I feel like if I prepare myself, if I get into a good routine, the numbers will show up on the field. So I'm someone who's never too worried about numbers. I think the process will take care of that. But yeah, just get into a good routine and stay healthy the whole year. It's my plan.
You're still growing your body, and this was your first professional season. Were you exhausted by the end of it? How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I was pretty tired at the end of the season. I needed a couple weeks to just decompress for sure. I grew like an inch since the beginning of last season, so I've been still growing a little bit. So trying to work on manage my body while still growing a little bit, which is I'm not complaining. I'll take every inch I can get, but yeah, it's been good for sure.
Sit and hit velo before we get out of here.
I want my average fastball to be about no below 94. I think if my average velo can be 94, maybe touch a 7, maybe get up there. So, and I think that's very, very doable. I feel confident. I've been feeling great so far, so I don't see why not.
Were you there when Madison Jeffrey hit the 0 earlier this year?
Oh yeah. That guy's got an arm on him. He's nasty. He's nasty, yeah.
He absolutely is. Hey, Peter, I know you're extremely busy. You're getting ready to crank things back up. You're already in Arizona. You're already back to the grind of baseball. So I thank you so much for joining Dodgers Daily, and thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.